Welcome to Let's Figure This Shit Out, the podcast where we talk life, love, motherhood, wellness, and all the wild, messy, beautiful stuff in between. I am Tomikai Latoya, and if you've ever felt like you're just making this up as you go, same. This is a space for honest conversations, unfiltered truths, and figuring things out together, one real talk at a time. So grab your tea, get cozy, and let's figure this shit out. All right, family, we're back for another episode. How have y'all been? How has your week been? How you doing, sis? Have you had a great day? Have you had a great week? I will that you have, that your day has been amazing, that your week is going amazing. What are we figuring out today as we figure this shit out? What are we figuring out today? I know. This is like one of my favorite things to say is that life is a walking contradiction. And when I say that, sometimes I get like weird looks. Like life is a walking contradiction. Like, what the hell does that mean? Well, when I say life is a walking contradiction, is like as you grow, as you change, as you heal, as you evolve, life becomes a walking contradiction. Like you're literally going to be contradicting yourself because what you think you know or what you believe at one point in your life can easily change as you get older, as you grow, as you heal, as you evolve, as you come into new knowledge, new ways of thinking, new perspective. Now, there's some things that, it's always going to be the same through and through. No changing. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things as your core things about you that's always going to be the same through and through. But there's going to be certain outlooks, certain points of views that will change throughout life. And so that is what makes life a walking freaking contradiction. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why do we expect ourselves to be one thing at all times? You know what I'm saying? Like, as a person who is, y'all want me to rattle off all the things that I am, all the hats and titles that I hold. Because as a multifaceted person, I am so many things. But I also know that the things that I used to, know were true or thought were true, I no longer feel that way. And that can change from day to day. That can change from week to week. That can change from year to year. But does that mean that I'm a liar? Does that mean that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? No, that's not what that means. What that means is I have come into new knowledge. I have come into new information. I have overcame certain things in my life. I have a better understanding of certain things where now what was is no longer, or what was has something added on to it to make it something else. I can't even really think of an example. Let's see, an example of a contradiction in my life. Okay, this is a good one. An example of a contradiction in my life. So about, I'll say 6 years ago. About 6 years ago, me and my family decided to no longer eat meat. We still indulged in animal byproducts. So whether that be dairy, cheese, and sometimes eggs. My daughter is a big egg lover. I am not, so I've fallen out of love with eggs. I don't like eggs like that anymore. But we still do byproducts like eggs and cheese, right? But we didn't eat pork, beef, chicken. I cut out delicious bacon, all the things. But now I am at a point in my life where one, I am getting older. And for all of my healthy girls out there, if you didn't know, as you get older, you begin to lose muscle mass. So anybody over the age of 30, you slowly begin to lose muscle mass. So that means you need more fiber and you need more protein in your diet to help to make up for that. And so again, I was diehard like, we don't eat meat. I'm a I guess vegetarian, if you want to put a label on it, which I really don't like putting labels on myself, because life is a walking contradiction. Because I don't want anybody to say, oh, well, you say you were a vegetarian, how can you be eating blase blase blase? I'm going to do what the fuck I want when I need to do it. So if I need to change my diet, if I need to put in something or rearrange something so that it then serves me better, I am going to do that. Looking to bring your voice to the world? Onyx Source Media makes podcasting easy and professional. From hosting and distribution to expert support, allow them to help you launch and grow your show stress-free. Whether you're starting off fresh or leveling up, Onyx Source Media is your media partner behind the mic. Ready to be heard? Visit onyxsourcemedia.com and get your podcast out there now. Onyx Source Media, create, publish, be heard. So anyway, let's get back to the story. So we stopped eating meat. We cut out all meat. We did veggie everything. We also started eating a lot more mushrooms. Shout out to the purple mushroom for those delicious mushrooms that she grows in her urban farm here in Colombia. Awesome, amazing. Shouts out to her. But we started eating a lot more mushrooms as well. Well, recently, I'll say this year, actually. Yeah, this year, I've been eating a lot more salmon. I've been actually craving for and actually wanting salmon at least once a week. Also like things that I usually didn't eat before I became a vegetarian. And so does that mean that I now eat meat? No, what that means is I now eat salmon once a week to get the protein that I need for my body so that I am healthy and so that my body functions the way that it needs to. There you go. There's a contradiction, because when we decided to no longer eat meat, yes, it was for health reasons and it was a different way of living and creating a new lifestyle, a lifestyle change for us. But within that lifestyle change, things have changed for me. You know, I am a woman. I am, getting older. My body is changing. My body is needing more things. Yes, I can eat more veggies. I can eat more beans. I can drink more of my herbs. But I'm also a person who loves variety. And so, just throwing in salmon once a week, that's a little bit of a variety for me. And I'm able to then get the things that I need. Does that mean that I'm a liar? No. Does it mean that I'm not really a vegetarian? Well, I don't rock with the labels anyway, so really it don't matter. But it means that I am doing what works for me in this moment in time for my body so that I am healthy, that I'm here and my body is functioning the way that it is. So that's what I mean by life is a walking contradiction. There's so much power in holding multiple truths at once. Two things can be true. Yes, eating too much meat can be bad for you, but having a little bit of it in my diet has been working for me, because, when I was eating meat, I felt heavy. I felt terrible. My knees hurt. It wasn't the lifestyle that I needed. Now that I have changed my lifestyle and how I've eaten, I feel better in my body. My knees no longer hurt. I don't feel sluggish anymore. I have more energy. And even when I eat salmon once a week, I have not gone back to the sluggish feeling. I haven't gone back to the heavy feeling. I haven't gone back to that. And still incorporating my herbs and doing all the things. I'm still living in a way that is for me. And that's what it is. And will that change again in the future? I don't know. It may be. I might go back to not eating no salmon. I may go back. I may say that I'm going to continue to eat salmon. I don't know. I am learning how to take care of myself as life progresses. And so that will change. At my core, I will always want to eat healthy and be healthy and have a healthy lifestyle and have a healthy relationship with food. That is the core. The contradiction is how I do that. And this isn't an episode about food. This is just an example that I'm sharing to prove the point that I said. This episode is brought to you by the Purple Mushroom, your go-to space for gourmet mushrooms, grow kits, and wellness rooted in nature. Whether you're a foodie, a homegirl, or a curious soul exploring the magic of mushrooms, the Purple Mushroom has something for you. Visit thepurplemushroom.com to start your journey, and don't forget to follow them on social media for all of their tips, recipes, and fresh drops. The Purple Mushroom. Grow well, live fully. Even when it comes to, I don't know, fucking sending your children to public school. We have homeschooled for, oh gosh, I want to say 8 years now. We've homeschooled for 8 years. But my son is getting to a point where he is like literally like, it's like he's social starvation. Now, does that mean that children who are homeschooled don't get socialized? No, that's not what that means. What that means is we've come to a point in our homeschool journey where my son needs more. And with me building and growing 2 businesses, also having a podcast, and also helping a friend with her business, we're getting to the point where my son needs more and I'm going to give him what he needs. So if that means us trying out a year of public school, specifically a magnet school, because it's just not any public school, see, then that's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm still going to push for people to homeschool their children. If the school system is not working for your child, then do something different. Do something that serves them, right? i.e. homeschool, right? But if your child needs something more in homeschool that they're not getting, find a way for them to get that. And for us, giving my son what he needs is to put him in a magnet school, so a STEM school where that has a set curriculum, but also incorporates different aspects of STEM, because he is very much an inquisitive child. He loves how things work. So a STEM school, a magnet school, will be the best type of school for him. This is just not a regular public school. This is a school that we have done the research on. We have looked into. We have seen, what the school is like, all the things, all the research, and we decided, okay, this is going to be a good program for him. And guess what? He may go, and I still be like, nah, you coming back home. We're trying this out. Does that mean that I believe that the school system is a better place to put children? No, that's not. That's that through and through homeschool. What that means is, again, there's the 2 truths, right? The 2 truths is, 1, yes, homeschool is a better option for our children. But at the same time, my son is needing something more, and I'm finding out a way how to get that to him. Those are my 2 truths, right? I don't know how else to give that to him other than to put him in a space where there's more children, where he's spending more time with children and with teachers who have more insight on STEM and STEM programs. Again, if that does not work, we have other options. But right now, this is what we're going to try out. Both of those statements are still true. I still believe in homeschool. I still believe that everyone should try to homeschool their children if possible, especially if your children are having issues in homeschool. I still believe that. And at the same time, I know that my son needs something else, and so I'm going to give it to him. Those are my 2 truths in that statement. So I've given you an example about my food journey. I've given you an example about my homeschool journey to prove that this is why life is a walking contradiction, because it's not a all or nothing in any situation. right? It's not always going to be the same. I've been homeschooling for 8 years, and it's getting to a point where I'm doing all of this and at the same time trying to homeschool my son and go to homeschool group meetings and field trips and pop-ups and all, like, for our family in this moment. This is what needs to happen. If it doesn't work, guess what happens? Then I'm going to pull back on something to do with the business and or podcast, and I'm going to focus more on that. That's the change. That's my two truths at once. All right. And so again, like, most people don't make the choices that they want to make because in fear of being a contradiction. I don't give two fucks. Because at my core, I mean what I say and I say what I mean. But when something comes up in my life and I need to pivot and I need to change something, I need to figure out a way to make something work, or I need to change my way of thinking in order for me to be better, in order for my family to be better, I am going to do that. Another contradiction. What people think money is and what it isn't. On the different forms of money, of currency, and understanding what those things are. Up until a few years ago, all I knew is that the way we spent currency, we spent money, was with the green things that we call dollar bills, right? And then you learned about silver and gold, and how that is also a form of currency, and how that's a way of saving. So does that mean that we just do away with all of our dollars, our money in the bank, and only buy silver and gold? No, that means you have both. There's so many contradictions in life, and I don't think that people should be forced to choose one truth. I don't think that just because you no longer agree with something or you decide to change something, that that's the end of it. You can always build on things, add on things be different, and that is okay. There are so many contradictions. There's a contradiction of being tired and also being grateful. There's a contradiction of being unsure and also being committed. Sometimes in my business, I am unsure, but I am committed to building and growing a business that helps my community. Unsure in how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and whether or not I'm going to be successful in it. That's pure honesty right there. But I am committed to doing it and getting it done, no matter what I need to do. That's a contradiction. The gift of honoring your full and completed self, no matter what that looks like. That's the gift of being a contradiction, of life being a contradiction. It's like, yes, I'm this, but I'm also this. Even if it's the opposite of whatever the other this is. That's the gift. That's the wonderful thing about life being a walking contradiction. And I will be the first to raise my hand and be like, yeah, I felt this way last week, but that has changed. Or I knew this a month ago, but that has changed. This is how I see it. This is how I feel about it now, because I've had chance to, one, think about it. I've had a chance to do research and discover some things about it. I've had a chance to learn more about it. So my point of view may change. The way I feel about it may change. Or I may have two truths. I feel unsure and committed. I'm scared, but I have the courage. I'm lost, but I'm finding my way. I'm unsure, but I'm discovering. That's what life is. Your contradiction is you being a fucking human. So if somebody gets up in your shit and be like, oh, well, just last year you just said you was this, tell them to kiss your ass. Because this year you somebody else. This year you're something new. Last year took you through hell and you learned so much that this year is different. This year you evolve. This year you're at a level of healing that you're going to continue to move through. There's nothing wrong with contradictions. That's life. And if you are a person who wants to continue to be stagnated, staying at the same place in your life, whether it be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is, if you want to be that and don't change, don't evolve, don't become better, then you do that. But if you are a person who is growing, who is healing, who is evolving, who's reading books, who's watching documentaries, who's going out into life and experiencing things, you're going outside and talking to nature, hugging a tree for the first time, whatever it may be. You were on level 2 of your journey, and now you're on level 22. And how you felt on 2 is different from 22. What you thought at 2 is different from 22. The way you think at 2 is different from 22. Anybody who is on the journey of evolving, of changing, of seeking knowledge, there is going to be contradictions. If you aren't having any contradictions in life, then are you growing? Are you evolving? Are you changing for the better? Are you becoming a better version of you? And I think I've said this once and I'll say it again. Anybody that tells me they know it all, I'm running far away. Get away from me. Because if you don't, we can't know it all. But if you have the curiosity to try to figure it out, to try to learn, to try to do better, be better, to explore different things, somewhere in there is going to come some contradictions. Contradictions to what your grandma taught you, contradictions to what your mother may have said, contradictions to what you may have thought of yourself. The contradictions is what make you human. Your contradiction is your humanity. Don't be afraid of that. Live in that. Embrace that. Hell, I do. That has been it for this episode. I want y'all to do me a favor. Share your both and you're living right now. Like, what contradiction are you living right now? I already told y'all mine. I told you 2 of mine. Homeschool situation and my diet situation. Those are my 2 contradictions. What are yours? Send them to me. Let me know what you're feeling. And until next time, peace, loves. All right, family, that's it for today's episode. If this hit home for you and you resonated with it in some shape, form, or fashion, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, none of us have this figured out, but we're in this together. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep figuring this shit out. Until next time, peace.